let me ask you something that might make you lean in a little closer right now. Have you ever wondered what it really takes to make a man feel like you're not just sleeping with him, but making love to him? Because there's a massive difference. Sex is everywhere, anyone can have it. But the truth is, most men go their whole lives without truly experiencing what it feels like when a woman makes love to them. And that's why when you learn how to do this, when you learn how to bring more than just your body into that moment, you'll become unforgettable. You'll stand out in a man's heart and mind in a way that no casual fling ever could. This isn't about tricks. This isn't about performance. This is about intimacy, the kind that leaves him lying awake at night replaying every second of what just happened because for the first time he felt seen. See, men are starved of intimacy in ways most women don't even realize. A man can be powerful in his career, funny among his friends, confident in a bar, but in the bedroom, that's where he's vulnerable. That's where every insecurity about his body, his stamina, his performance comes rushing to the surface. And what he craves most isn't another wild move or another porn-inspired position. What he craves most is to feel accepted, desired, chosen. To feel that in that moment, you're not just there to receive his body, you're there to connect with his soul. So today, I want to break down 5 powerful keys to making love to a man in a way that will make him feel not only physically fulfilled, but emotionally bonded to you. These 5 keys are what separate someone who just has sex from someone who creates an experience so rare, so intoxicating, that he'll never look at you the same way again. And I want you to stay with me because as we go through these points, you're going to notice something magical. You'll start realizing that making love to a man isn't just about what you do to him. It's about what you awaken in him. The very first key to making love to a man is presence, not performance. Most women think they need to wow a man in bed by doing something wild or extraordinary, some kind of, let me show you what I can do. And sure, novelty can be exciting. But do you know what every man remembers long after the moment, how present you were? Presence means that when you're with him, you're not in your head worrying about how you look or what move you should try next or whether he's impressed. Presence is when you are locked into the moment with him, feeling everything, responding naturally, not rushing ahead. A man feels it when you're really there. He feels it in your touch, in the way your eyes hold his, in the way you move slowly because you're savoring, not performing. Imagine this, you're kissing him, but instead of already thinking about what's next, you let the kiss be the entire universe in that moment. You let your lips, your breath, your closeness tell him, I'm here with you. Right now, that's when his walls start to crumble. That's when he feels he can stop performing too and just be. When you're present, you're telling him something deeper than any words could. You don't have to prove yourself to me. I already want you. Right now, exactly as you are. That's the difference between sex and making love. The second key is appreciation. And let me be clear, I don't just mean complimenting his abs or his skills. I'm talking about showing him that you truly value him. Here's a secret: men are constantly judged, measured, and compared. They're told to be taller, stronger, richer, funny, more successful, even in bed. Many men carry the heavy burden of, am I enough? And when you show a man genuine appreciation in those moments of intimacy, you heal a wound he's been carrying silently for years. It could be as simple as whispering, I love how you make me feel, or running your hand slowly over his chest and saying, I love your body, or even just sighing in a way that lets him know his presence is overwhelming you in the best possible way. Do you know what happens when you do this? His confidence skyrockets, but not in a cocky way, in a surrendered way, in a way that makes him want to give more to you because he feels safe, valued, and wanted. And that right there is when you stop being just another woman he slept with and start becoming the woman who made him feel alive. When you appreciate him in bed, you're not just stroking his ego, you're touching his heart. And that's a language he'll never forget. Now, here's the third key, and it might surprise you, because we often think that men want to be in control in the bedroom. And sure, many do like to take charge. But here's the truth. Every man secretly craves a woman who can lead with gentleness. What I mean by gentle leadership is guiding the moment in subtle, sensual ways that show him where you want to go without emasculating him. Instead of demanding, do this or don't do that, you simply move his hands where you want them. You whisper slower. You arch your body in a way that invites him deeper. You breathe in a way that tells him when he's hitting the right spot. This is leadership, but it's not forceful. It's feminine leadership. And here's why it's so powerful. Men don't often get direction in the bedroom. They're guessing, hoping, trying, but often they don't really know if what they're doing is working for you. When you guide him with grace, he feels like he's succeeding, like he's bringing you pleasure in a way only he can. This makes him relax. It makes him more attentive. And most importantly, it builds trust because he knows you're not just lying there. You're co-creating the experience with him. And believe me when I say, when a man feels that, he will chase that experience with you again and again. Now pause for a second. Imagine how different sex feels when you bring just these three elements: presence, appreciation, and gentle leadership. Can you feel how it shifts from something casual to something unforgettable? Can you sense how it moves from two bodies colliding to two souls connecting? That's the magic. But we're only halfway there, because in the next two keys, we'll go even deeper. We'll talk about how to create an emotional imprint so strong that even when he's away from you, even when he tries to distract himself with other things, he'll still feel you. He'll still crave you. And that's when you truly learn how to make love to a man, not just for a night, but for a lifetime. Let's go even further now, because once you've understood presence, appreciation, and gentle leadership, you've already laid a foundation that makes a man feel safe and seen. But if you stop there, you've only given him part of the experience. To truly make love to a man, to truly create a moment he will never forget, you have to go beyond the physical and begin to stir something inside him that he rarely allows anyone to touch. And this is where the real magic begins. Most people think sex is just physical release. They think of it as scratching an itch. But when you learn how to make love, you understand that the physical act is just the surface. Underneath that, there are emotions, fears, unspoken desires, things he doesn't even admit to himself. And when you touch those, you stop being just a lover, you become unforgettable. You leave fingerprints not just on his skin, but on his soul. Now, here's the truth. Men are not as emotionally guarded as they pretend to be. They may come across as strong, unshakable, even stoic. But the reality is, inside are often longing for the kind of connection that breaks through that armor. And intimacy is the one place where the armor comes off, if you know how to invite him there. Think about it. Out in the world, a man has to fight, compete, protect, perform. He's judged by his status, his achievements, his confidence. But in your arms, what he secretly wants is permission to just be a man. Not a hero, not a warrior, not someone putting on a show, just himself. He wants a moment where he can stop being enough for everyone else and simply be desired, cherished, loved. That's what makes making love so powerful. You're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him peace. And that is what men are starving for. So how do you do that? The fourth key is emotional intimacy. And it's more powerful than most women realize. Emotional intimacy means letting him feel that you're not just touching his body, you're touching his heart. It's not about words like, I love you, on repeat. It's about creating a space where his emotions, his vulnerabilities, his tenderness are safe. It's looking at him in the middle of passion and letting your eyes say, I see you. All of you. And I love it. One of the most intimate things you can do with a man is not something physical at all. It's eye contact. When you're with him, when you're so close you can feel his breath, don't look away. Hold his gaze. Most people are terrified of holding eye contact because it feels too raw, too exposing. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. When you hold his eyes, you're telling him, I'm not going anywhere. You don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend. I'm right here with you. And if you've never tried this before, you'll be shocked at how quickly it takes an experience from casual to intimate, from lust to love. Another part of emotional intimacy is allowing yourself to be vulnerable too. A lot of women think that being in control in the bedroom means always looking perfect, always having the right moves, always being on, but men don't want perfection. What melts them is authenticity. When you let out a sound without holding back, when you gasp his name, when your body shivers and you don't try to hide it, that's vulnerability. That's you showing him your real self. And when you allow that, he feels safe to do the same. He doesn't have to be flawless. He doesn't have to hold back. He doesn't have to put on a mask. He can let go. That's when you stop being just another night and you become the night he'll think about for years. Here's something few women understand. Men crave aftercare just as much as women do. When the moment is over, most people roll over, grab their phone, or fall asleep. But when you stay with him, when you touch his face, run your fingers through his hair, whisper something soft like, I love being here with you, you're telling him he wasn't just a body to use. He was someone you wanted. That post-intimacy softness is emotional intimacy at its peak, and it's addictive. Now, the fifth and final key is the one that ties everything together. It's the secret ingredient that makes a man not just satisfied but bonded to you on the deepest level, and that is feminine energy. And when I say feminine energy, I don't mean makeup, dresses, or playing small. I mean the energy of softness, openness, receptivity, the energy that allows him to step into his masculine fully without fear of rejection. Men, deep down, are drawn to a woman who embodies this energy because it gives them a chance to step out of competition mode, out of prove yourself mode, and into presence. When you soften into your feminine energy, you're not trying to control everything, you're not analyzing, you're not performing, you're simply allowing yourself to feel. You lean into your senses, you let him see your pleasure, you let your body respond freely. And in that surrender, he feels safe to surrender to. Think about this: when you open yourself to receive his touch, his love, his presence, you're telling him something incredibly powerful. You trust him. And trust is the deepest aphrodisiac there is. You don't even have to say it. He feels it in your body, in the way you breathe, in the way you allow yourself to melt in his arms. That's feminine energy at work. It's not about being passive. It's about being receptive. And when you do that, you make him feel like the man he wants to be with you. When you combine all five keys: presence, appreciation, gentle leadership, emotional intimacy, and feminine energy, you create a love-making experience that goes far beyond sex. You create something transcendent. You become not just a woman he slept with, but the woman who awakened something inside him, the woman who made him feel more alive, more seen, more connected than he ever thought possible. And here's the beautiful part: when you give that to a man, he doesn't just keep it for himself. He gives it back to you. He becomes more attentive, more vulnerable, more connected, because lovemaking isn't one-sided, it's a loop. The more you give, the more you receive. The deeper you go, the deeper he goes with you. And that's how two people move from just being lovers to becoming truly bonded. So the real question isn't just, how do I make love to a man? The real question is, am I willing to bring all of me into that moment? Because if you're willing to be present, to appreciate, to lead gently, to connect emotionally, and to embody your feminine energy, then you won't just make love to him. You'll create an experience he'll never be able to shake. You'll etch yourself into his memory, not because you did some fancy move, but because for the first time, he felt what it means to be loved completely. So let's put all of this together now, because it's one thing to hear these five keys, but it's another to actually see them play out in real life. Imagine you're with a man you love, or even just someone you're beginning to share intimacy with. The moment starts small. Maybe it's just a kiss, but instead of rushing past it, instead of already thinking ahead to where it's going, you stay there. You let the kiss build slowly. You let your hands find his face. Your lips move with his, your body lean closer in a way that says, I'm here with you. That's presence. And he feels it instantly. He feels the difference between a distracted kiss and a present one. One feels like a routine. The other feels like a world he never wants to leave. Then, as things heat up, you let him know, without overthinking, without hesitation, how much you appreciate him. Maybe you trace your fingers over his arm and whisper, God, I love how strong you feel. Maybe you let out a moan that tells him his touch is driving you crazy. Maybe you just look at him with that mischievous smile that says, you have no idea how much I want you right now. That's appreciation. And it does something profound. It silences that voice in his head that says, am I good enough? Suddenly he's not worried. He's not performing. He's thriving in your presence because you've told him, yes, you are more than enough. And then comes gentle leadership. Maybe he's moving too fast, eager, caught up in the moment. Instead of shutting him down, you place your hand on his chest, push him back slightly, and whisper slower. That one word spoken with softness, with intent, with desire, it doesn't make him feel rejected. It makes him feel guided. It makes him feel like he's in sync with you. And so he slows down, his movements match yours, and suddenly the moment feels like a dance instead of a race. That's what men crave, even if they don't know how to say it. Guidance without judgment, leadership without pressure, a partner who shows them where to go while still letting them feel like they're the one taking you there. Now imagine this. You're both at the height of passion, bodies tangled, breath heavy, hearts racing. And in that moment, you don't look away. You hold his gaze, It's almost unbearable how intimate it feels, but you don't break it. And neither does he, because in that moment, he feels like you've pierced through every defense, every wall he's ever built. That's emotional intimacy. That's the moment he realizes this isn't just about bodies. It's about something so much deeper. It's about you seeing him fully, not just the parts of him he wants to show the world, but the parts he hides. And when you allow him to feel that, when you let him know with your eyes, your touch, your breath, that he is safe with you, he falls harder than he ever has before, because you've given him something no one else dared to. And finally, feminine energy. This is where the magic becomes undeniable, because when you let yourself soften, when you allow yourself to receive him without resistance, when you let your body melt into his and your pleasure spill out freely, you're telling him something profound. I trust you. That trust electrifies him. It makes him want to step up, to protect you, to cherish you, to give you everything he has. It awakens something primal in him, something that says, I will do anything to keep this woman, because with her, I feel like the man I've always wanted to be. That's the power of feminine energy. It doesn't just make him feel desired, it makes him feel complete. And when the moment is over, when the passion quiets down, when you're both lying there in silence, this is where most people get it wrong. They think it's finished. They turn away, grab their phone, or drift into sleep. But not you. You stay. You let your fingers play in his hair. You rest your head on his chest. You breathe him in. Maybe you whisper something simple like, I love being close to you. That's aftercare. That's emotional intimacy extended beyond the act itself. And do you know what he feels in that moment? He feels chosen, not for his body, not for what he gave you physically, but for him, for the man underneath it all. And that is what keeps him hooked, not just on sex, but on you. Think about how rare this is in today's world. We live in a culture obsessed with performance, with speed, with instant gratification. People jump from one body to another, never slowing down long enough to connect. Men especially are fed images of sex that are mechanical, impersonal, surface level. And yet deep down, what they're yearning for isn't more novelty. It's depth. It's that moment when someone slows them down and says, you don't have to perform. You don't have to prove. You just have to be here with me. That's what men remember. That's what they chase. That's what makes you unforgettable. Now, let me share a truth that most women never hear. Making love to a man is not about how many moves you know. It's not about being wild or outrageous. It's not about being the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. It's about how you make him feel. And men rarely, if ever, admit this. They won't tell their friends. They won't say it out loud, but inside, what they crave is that one experience where they felt more than just pleasure. They felt connection. If you can give him that, you will stand out from every woman he's ever been with, because you'll be the one who gave him what no one else did. I want you to picture this years from now, even if he tries to move on, even if he dates other women, even if he fills his life with distractions, there will be moments when he closes his eyes and remembers. Not just the sex, not just the heat, but the way you made him feel seen, the way you looked into his eyes and didn't look away, the way your body trusted his, open to his, received him like he was the only man in the world. That's what he won't forget. That's what will haunt him. That's what will have him thinking, no one has ever made me feel the way she did. And that right there is what makes you unforgettable. But here's the most important part. This isn't just about him. It's about you. Because when you learn to make love in this way, you're not just giving, you're receiving. You're giving yourself permission to feel deeply, open yourself up to experience intimacy in its richest form. And when you do, you don't just change the way he experiences you, you change the way you experience yourself. You stop being the woman who goes through the motions and start being the woman who owns her sensuality, who embraces her vulnerability, who creates connection everywhere she goes. And that kind of woman is magnetic to men, yes, but also to life itself. So the next time you find yourself with a man, remember, it's not about the fireworks, it's about the depth. It's not about proving, it's about presence. It's not about performance, it's about connection. And when you bring those 5 keys, presence, appreciation, gentle leadership, emotional intimacy, and feminine energy, you don't just make love to him. You teach him what love making truly is. You give him an experience that changes him, that bonds him, that makes him crave not just your body, but your soul. And once a man has felt that he can never go back, he can never forget you, he can never stop wanting more, Because here's the truth: anyone can have sex with a man, but very few women ever make love to him. Be the woman who does. Be the woman who goes deeper, who slows it down, who looks into his eyes and lets him feel completely, utterly seen. That's not just how you make love to a man. That's how you become unforgettable to him. That's how you etch yourself into his heart forever. If this message spoke to you, don't just let it fade away when the video ends. Apply it tonight, tomorrow, the next time you're with him. Bring just one of these keys into the moment and watch how it transforms not only the way he looks at you, but the way you feel about yourself. And if you want more of this kind of advice, make sure you subscribe right now. Hit that bell so you never miss another video. And share this with a friend who deserves to know the difference between sex and making love. Because intimacy like this doesn't just change your relationship, it changes your life.